All right, welcome everybody. Friday team call, base shop call for the Menefee agency. We're welcome everybody to the call. Thanks for hopping on, and we have a very special guest for you today. So a little housekeeping, as those who are regulars are aware, but we do move our leaderboards to the end of the call. Make sure we get plenty of time for our special guest and get plenty of time for hearing from her. So we have Sara Reineke on with us, and super excited. This has been kind of on the wish list for quite a while, and so welcome, Sara. We have she started back in June of 2020, so coming not even up on 3 years yet total, but 2020 was a Pogue Impact Player Award winner. #1 rookie producer in 2020, 2021 Quilty Impact Player Award recipient, 2021 Pogue Leadership Award recipient. She highest month so far, September 2022, 562,000 in team production with 124 riders. Man, that is awesome. Hit 130 in equity partner in November of 2022. And I believe that is probably a symmetry record for fastest to that level. But the current her master is doing 4.3 million as of 2022. So definitely super excited and very honored to have Sara on with us. And welcome, Sara, to the call.
Wow, thank you so much. This is just fun. I love to do this stuff. Love to connect, love to make impacts and meet new people. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I'm in my dad's office. You can see the golf balls and like there's no Wi-Fi at my house. So I had to call my mom and dad, be like, can I come to your house and work today? So I'm in my dad's office right now. I'm Sara Reineke, director Jacob Pogue, Marshall Whalen Hierarchy, and so grateful to be so. And excited to be here with you all today.
Awesome. So for those who don't know Sara, and obviously have just crawled out from under a rock, tell us a little bit about Sara Reineke and your journey to symmetry.
Sure. I love to talk about it because I'm a teacher by trade. I don't know if any other teachers on here, former teachers. Oh, anybody? Okay. You can kind of, there. Yep. I could smell it on you too. I could smell it. I just knew. I could see both your faces. Like you can't shake it. You just can't. So I taught for 16 years. I taught third grade, 13 years, and 3 years of junior high. Got my master's in admin and my specialist in superintendency. Thought I'd be a curriculum director or something terrible. Thank the Lord, the doors were shut. I actually got second place out of 80 something applicants in admin jobs, maybe 6 or 7 times. It was terrible. I kept being recruited for them. You're going to be great. We want you in this spot. And then I would get to top 10, top 2. They would go with the coach or the person with the experience or the man, no offense. Over and over. But I look back and I'm glad they didn't. 1, because I wouldn't be here. 2, I had no personal development. It's a big miss in the teaching field. Ironically enough, they're working with humans, but there's all kinds of professional development, new ways to teach math, but there's no emphasis on personal development. So I wouldn't have hired me either, looking back. So, but it was devastating at the time. I mean, I was told you'll be a great leader, just not here, straight to my face. And I was about 27. And I'm like, man, I just always innately knew I was supposed to lead people. So it was devastating, then. And I guess probably the main reason I wanted to go into admin was because, the budget, right? So as a teacher, 16 years, 2 Teacher of the Year awards, like I, overachieved as much as I could overachieve, right? in that world. But I brought home $2,400 a month with all that, right? So working really, really hard and had no energy left for my family. And it got so tight in my budget that I remember my kids now are 20. I know you were thinking I don't look old enough to have a 20-year-old. It's okay. You don't have to say it. But I have a newly 20-year-old and almost 15 and then an 11-year-old. And when that 15-year-old was 3, we couldn't afford preschool. Like it was one of those, like the budget was so tight that we had to call the preschool that my son went to, little church preschool. We loved them. And I remember sitting on the milk crate in my classroom making that phone call of just like, we can't afford it. And they were like, we love your kids, Sarah. We're not losing your kids. I'm like, well, I don't know. I can't pay you. I don't know what else to say. You know, it was just one of those, I'll never forget it. And we have scholarships for that. And so I hear, I'm like, where am I in life where I'm using a scholarship when I'm teaching and my husband has a good job, but 3 kids and a mortgage, we couldn't get a breath. And I was tired of that. So I loved the impact there, but I didn't like the stress on my family and the stress on my budget. So I took a side gig in direct sales. I never thought I would be that girl in a million years, but I'm like, for $500, I'll be that girl. If it'll pay for preschool and travel ball, okay. So went and did that, and it did way more than $500 a month. I got to the top of that company. And actually, that's for this necklace. If you ever see me wear this, I wear it all the time. I got this necklace, like 6 carat, diamond necklace for hitting the top of that company. And I wear it all the time to remind me I can do hard things again, because that company was good to me. I traveled all over the world, and I learned I was worth a lot more than $2,400 a month, and that I can lead people. And I learned that I love impact and being part of people's stories. But the thing with direct sales is there is a time. And as much as they don't want to say that, but if you hit it at the right time and you work really hard, it can be life-changing. And there's a lot of money to be made in direct sales. And if you have friends that are in the direct sales, go recruit them right now. I bet 70% of our growing agency is from that world. We're already tough. We don't get our feelings hurt anymore. We already know how to lead a volunteer army. There's a lot of skill sets that we learn over there. So respect it, tell them you respect it, and go recruit them. There's your first lesson for today. So that company was great until it wasn't. And my paycheck, I got up to $17,000 a month, felt like a millionaire. And then it went down and down and down and down and down and down. And then it was starting to get scary. We made decisions based on that budget. I was still working hard. So I ended up selling that business, which was awesome. But also then it was like, okay, I have money in the bank, but I have no purpose. I have no, I got my coaching certificate, which is actually where I met Jamie Susie. I was like, I can be a coach. I don't even know what that is. I figure I can figure it out. And I went up to Utah, got a coaching certification with Keller Williams, and built that business, but it was lonely and no leads. So I learned the lesson of like, oh, I have this certification. I have this skill set. Now I have to go find people who will pay me. It's like, okay, I'm an artist, but who's going to buy the painting, right? Like this is excruciating and lonely. And that was not for me. I knew that wasn't my long-term. And like when I stopped coaching, I stopped making money. So I'm like, oh, I miss passive income. I miss being part of a team. I miss being part of a movement. Like, so I could make some impact, but I miss the movement piece. So I knew I had another gear left in me, and I really was in a place where if I'm not making impact, I'm like a shark. If I'm not moving forward, helping people, then I am on my belly feeling flat. And so I handled that by watching like 3 days of Gilmore Girls back to back. I was like, this is probably going to solve it. And my husband's like, you're broken. I'm like, I know. Anyway, I had to find my thing. So, there's a lot of people out there looking for their next thing. So next thing to think about, don't forget that lots and lots of people are out there looking for their next thing to sink their teeth into. Invite them to do that. Because I looked at mortgage, I looked at real estate, I looked at State Farm, and State Farm recruited me and hired me on the spot. I was like, okay, I can be Sarah from State Farm. I like red. Let's do it. Let's go. And that was February of 2020. And the first thing they have you do is take a personality test. I'm like, cool. Okay. Went to my bedroom and took it and failed it. They called me an hour later and said, well, we're sorry, but you can reapply in a year. I'm like, did I just fail a personality test? Like, well, we don't call it fail. So I had to go tell my husband that I failed a personality test. And he was like, could have told you that before you took a test. I'm like, I'm leaving you right now. It's over. But I did Google it, by the way. And the reason I failed it is because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, always, 1 never. And I put a lot of 4s and 2s because I'm, well, what happened first? Why would she do that? There must have been a reason. Like I'm a 4 and 2 person, which works out very good here. So I'm really glad. I wouldn't have followed the rules very well at State Farm and they probably would have fired me. So it's probably a pretty good indicator. Anyway, but because I looked at State Farm, my friend Jim Larson, reached out to me and said, hey, if you're looking at State Farm, you should look at this. I am forever grateful that he did that. Lesson number 3, everybody wants to be recruited. Everybody, not everyone's going to say yes. Everybody wants to be recruited. Can we agree on that? Right? Like if someone called you today and said, man, I have this job opportunity. It is in, Montana, but you can make $100,000. You'd be great at it. I've seen what you've done in insurance. There's an office opening up there that I think you'd be great. You're not mad about it. Right? So just remember that, like, people are afraid to reach out for a warm network, but no one's mad about being recruited if it's real. If you're like, man, you would kill it here, I'd love to work with you. So thank God he did. That was March. I beat up Jacob Pogue. He connected me to him. Lesson number 4, connect to someone who's done this longer than you or anyone else that has a different voice than you. So Jim immediately got Jacob on the phone with me and I beat him up. I had no idea he was a big deal and I had a lot of questions. So another lesson here is I was really difficult. So if you ever hired that person that you're like, for God's sakes, how many more questions do you have? That was me. And I'd be like, okay, Jacob Pogue, I'll be worth it, but I have more questions. Okay, you're making money, Jacob Pogue, but who's been here like 2 years and is making money? I want to talk to her. Like literally, I was saying this. And he did it. He should have cut the line 100 times. He didn't need me to make money, but he somehow believed in me and was like, okay, we're going to fight this fish and we're going to see how this works. Right. So it finally checked off all the boxes for me. I was like, I can't find a hole because I tried. And then once I knew I was in, then I called my friend Jamie Susie and was like, hey, I'm doing this. Come with me. So another lesson in recruiting is I didn't call her and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? I called her and said, I'm doing this. Like Scooby-Doo van is leaving, but the side door is open if you want to jump in. You see what I mean? There's a different posture. I say, like, if you're pregnant and you say to your friend, I'm thinking about the name Octavius, your friend's going to be like, oh God, like, no, you're not doing. But if you said it's Octavius and we're calling him Oct, they're going to be like, oh, that's so fun. That's cute because you've committed to it. Right. So whenever you are reaching out, like you have to have a posture of commitment, like, dude, I'm out. I'd love for you to come with me. And that's the posture that I kept with Seuss. Like, doesn't matter if you say yes or no, but I'd love to play with you. I'd love to, learn together and do this together. Right. So that was March. And I signed up for Plan A, which was going to people's homes. I was like, okay, Sara, Reineke, you can do hard things. You can go into people's homes. Like, you can do this. And then we know what happened in March, like 2 weeks after I said yes. But here's another thing. So this is why I'd love to see cameras on in huddles, because I was that girl that got on huddles for 3 months before I could get my license. So the reason I didn't start until June was because everything shut down. There's no place to test, no place to, the post office was closed, remember? So everything closed. So I couldn't get my license until May and couldn't start until June. But I was on every huddle. And the reason I stayed, I'm like, people are happy, people are smiling, people are engaged. This is interesting, right? So it was the you that kept me here. It was the culture that kept me intrigued, right? And so it matters. It matters a lot on how you engage and what you're doing right now, because you never know who's on these calls, who's kind of just, is this my thing? Is this not my thing, right? And the other thing is I watched the founders. I called Jamie, I go, dude, their whole business model just got blown to smithereens. Do you realize this? Like overnight, everything they've done to be successful here is now gone. I was like, well, I guess we planted our flag, but not in concrete. So we'll just see how they handle this. All right, big boys, what are you going to do? Like, this was our perspective. This is March, And I watched the founders lean in. I watched committees be formed overnight. I watched the leaders. Nobody cried. Nobody whined. Everybody leaned in and worked together and figured it out. I was like, if they can lead through something like this, where their business model that has kept them successful for 12 years straight, and they were able to pivot like this, I'll follow them anywhere. I mean, that was so impressive to me. And then I also recognized, I remember calling Jamie and saying, Jamie, the walls just came down. It's like, what do you mean? I go, we know how to build virtual teams. We know how to network like this. We know how to hire all over the country. We know how to build a team of puppies that can always leave the yard. There's no fence here. We know how to do that. We can hire anywhere because the walls just came down. We're going virtual. Let's go. So, it's fun for you to say fastest and all that. And I, it's nice, but that's not what I really want to be known for, because that's a record that will be broken tomorrow, because it is easier to go faster now than it was the first 12 years that this company has been around. I just leveraged it. I recognized the opportunity and was like, we can hire anywhere we want. We can write anywhere we want. We can hire anywhere we want. There's no reason to slow down, So yeah, it's long story long.
Well, out of that, we learned that with a 20-year-old, you were obviously a child bride. We're not going to chase that. We don't want to go down that trail.
Right.
But
right. There's no way.
we'll steer clear of that. But so talk to me, and you actually touched on this, but what really caught your attention with SFG? I mean, you got obviously the connection with Jacob and all that stuff, but there had to be something more there than just, this is a way to make some quick bucks and kind of that get rich quick, mindset.
I was very clear it was not get rich quick. Okay, this is going to be hard. I was very clear. This won't be easy. What sold me was, this is the part I'm like, if people understood this, I don't know how they don't build and run like crazy. This piece right here, I'm like, okay, I understand what's possible. There are lots and lots and lots of people making 5 and 6 digits a month. Lots, not two, not the only 2 people that got here. It's not just Edward and Marshall making that money. There are lots of people that have been here 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. There's people who've been here 9 years not making that. There's people that have been here 3 years. It is. Okay. Passive income, ownership. My grandkids will be affected by this. Okay. I understood that to be pretty important. And I'm like, where else can I go to make even 10 grand a month? Where else? So this is something that I'm like, okay, when people come here and they're like, I'm going to give this 6 weeks. Okay, cool. Go open a coffee shop and give it 6 weeks and let me know how that goes, right? Like, I'm going to give this 6 months. If it doesn't work for me, then I'm out. Cool. Then just don't come. Like, when people give it that kind of time, I'm like, what other business are you going to start and give it 6 months? Impossible. When I came here, I'm like, okay, if that's possible, obviously, and I'm like, a lot of people are doing it. That's what I needed proof of, not just Jacob. I needed, like, show me numbers. And, I could look at the numbers, the leaderboards, and be like, there's a lot of people making good money here. Okay, so once you know what's possible, and then I'm like, is there a system in place that's going to teach me how to do this? Or am I on my own, like I was with coaching? Like, I have a website, but then what do I do now? So then I understood there was a system in place and other people are following the system, and it's the same system they've used for 13 years. Okay. So I understand what's possible. I understand there's a system and a pathway. So then I just have to go do that. It's not like, hey, go to the casino, keep pulling levers. Maybe you'll stumble upon something, go pan for gold. No, this is there. Here's a path to get there. All you have to do is work hard and learn it and figure it out. Once I understood that was what I was doing, I'll figure it out. If other people are figuring it out, then Sara Reineke, you'll figure it out. There's no other way around that. It's a fact, Jack, right? So, and I tell my team all the time, like, there are truths here. The leads work. There's too much evidence otherwise. The system works. Too much evidence otherwise. The company's growing with or without this agency or Reineke agency. If we disappear, the company's still growing. Those are all truths that we won't argue about. So then it's our job just to leverage that and get better. So the value proposition was very clear. And I was like, okay, can I make 10 grand a month on my own pen? I needed to know that. I didn't want to be dependent on any Amanda selling a policy for me to make my mortgage payment. Can I make 10 grand a month on my own pen? Once I understood that to be true, okay, then let's do that. I understood that I was in business for myself and not by myself. Remember my coaching, I missed that. I'm like, okay, I can be part of a team and I can lead a team. I can make impacts in people's lives here. Because if I'm not making impacts, remember, shark on my belly. I cannot imagine having a job. My brain won't do it. It won't. So I needed to know that. I needed to know what was possible. The founders, I told you with how they handled COVID, I was like, impressed. I can get behind, because following the right leadership is also very important to me. Jacob I didn't know him. He wasn't an uncle. He wasn't a friend from high school. I didn't know him, but I trusted him after 2 weeks of talking to him. He connected with me, which is another thing. I'm really big on this in interviews, like connection to them. Find out why they got on Indeed. And they didn't have a great day at work and be like, you know what? I'm getting on Indeed. My life is amazing. No, there's a reason they got on Indeed or got somewhere, right? He connected with me. So it was the culture. It was the opportunity. It was passive income. It was ownership. It checked off all those, and I could work from home, and still have my flexibility. And I also liked that it was 200 years old, the industry itself. It's like, where else can you go where you can work in a 200-year-old industry that's a $1 trillion industry that's never going to run out of money with carriers that are A-rated, that are in the black beyond belief? Okay, I just have to go leverage it. And the kind of sick thing in my mind is like, I looked up the stats and I'm like, okay, basically 10% make it in the insurance world. To me, I love that number. That number does not scare me a bit. I'm like, if there's a 10% chance and it's up to me, it's not a 10% chance, it's a 10% of the agents make it, then I'll be at 10%. Like, done. If it's possible, cool. Because if there's only 10% that make it, that means there's money there. There's opportunity there. So yeah, there's the reasons.
So I love that. But let's talk about, because you've touched on it a couple of times. Anybody that's been around any time at all knows your most famous recruit, obviously Jamie, but tell us about recruits 2, 3, 4, and more. I mean, it takes more than just that one horse in the race to get to where you've gotten.
Oh, for sure. And Jamie and I were kind of twins, but not identical twins, right? So we were born the same time. And so the crazy thing is she's inherently better at a whole lot of parts and pieces of this business than I am, for sure. And she's beat me consistently. I think, well, there's been like 2 months, I think, that I was ahead of her on the leaderboard, but, if I did 7, she did 11. If I did 8, she did 12, always. If I recruited 6, she recruited 13. I'm like, my God, like I would have a great month. She's like, sorry, recruited triple than you. And you're like, this is fun. Just getting my teeth kicked in every single day. But ultimately, that's what you want. I want the Marshall Whalen life where I'm living in which house, which pool, which raft. Right. That's the goal. And the sooner I can develop enough leaders that can be on their own and doing their own thing that are way better than me in a whole lot of things, then I'm living that life. So the price to pay for all that is ego. So Jamie's amazing. She's doing her own thing and she is killing it over there in her own direct agency, obviously. But yeah, you can't hire one rock star and then sit back in your hammock. That's for sure. Or you just get left in the dust. So, and she caught me in commission level last February. And I was sort of in denial of exactly what you just mentioned, Chris, of like, the Jamie and Sara show is fun. And Jamie and Sara, this is a fun, good time. We're killing the leaderboards. And it was June before that Danny Young was like, listen, Sara, you better ignore that master agency and pay attention to your base shop. And I was like, but master agency is more fun to look at. He's like, I'm telling you right now, you better stop looking at that master. You better just pay attention to that base shop. That's it. That's all you worry about. Blinders. And I was like, oh, it's terrible advice. And I did not heed it in June. Should have. Because we both were having fun and I was growing. I wasn't standing still. I just wasn't growing as fast as her. And so I guess it was February. It was this time last year. Yeah, my biggest producer quit. She was my friend, went to a different company. She's actually thinking about coming back. I'm like, of course you are now. But anyway, she went to a different company, had to go check it out, whatever. It was amicable divorce. It's okay. But she was a 25K producer. And then Jamie hired 3 big producers that were like 100K overnight. So I lost 25. She gained 100 same month. So here's the feelings of Sara Reineke, February of last year. Am I relevant? Do I matter? Was it a fluke? Am I a leader worth following? Did any of this really happen? Was it all her? Did I have anything to offer? Did I put forth any effort here? What, should I just walk away? God, I'm not the girl that, hey, the girl that recruited Jamie Susie quit. No, you're not that girl. Okay. These are all thoughts of like, it felt like starting over because she caught me in commission. I didn't hit my promotion. She did. And she was having massive momentum and I took a big loss all the same month. So at the same time, I'm celebrating my friend, super duper excited for her. At the same time, questioning everything about myself. Like I'm looking at a mountain and I know on the other side of the mountain is really good things, but I'm looking at a steep mountain, steeper than I thought it was 1 month ago. Right. So, yeah, it was a big gut check. I mean, I could have blamed Jacob. I could have just sat and cried. I could have pouted about it, could have stayed in denial a little bit longer just for the fun of it, but instead decided to do a 90-day blitz because, the temptation in that situation is I'm going to lead this base shop out of this. Well, how about go to work, Sara Reineke? Like, get your boots back out, go to work. You're not above it. And did a 90-day blitz where I said no to everything, got off every committee. And I upped my A-leads, I upped my interviews, and warned my family. My mom brought me dinner on Mondays, had leftovers on Tuesdays. Like I just put a lot of things in place so I could be real intentional for 90 days straight. I thought, well, I'm not going down without a fight, right? I'm going to do what I can. And here's what's crazy is when I told my, the other leaders, like what you're talking about, Chris, Jamie Cuppernell, Lisa Abusnini, Logan Moore, Jake Dard. And I was like, I love you guys so much, but I just have to go to work, and I'm doing this. You're welcome to come with me. It's kind of just how I handled that. And I just picture myself like swimming in the pool and all of them were watching me and they're like, oh God, she's alone. We're going in with her. And like, they all kind of jumped in with me. And I'm so grateful for that because, man, we climbed out from, like 55,000 issued in our base shop in April to 35 in May. I'm like, oh God, okay. I did this 90-day blitz and we went down. Another fun test. But then in June, we issued 76 and then July 96 and August 105 and September, October, November, 115, 118, 119, which was the 130 run in the base shop. Unbelievable. So grateful for them and growing those leaders because ultimately the leadership development is the key to all of it. It's the key to the kingdom, not hiring, not recruiting. It's developing leaders that do way better than you and feel the need to lead, right? And that they go and do the thing. So so this month, Logan will probably end up with 15 riders herself. She's got 20 some people in pre-licensing. Cuppernellis could be her month 1 AO. She's working on month 2 of key leader. So in the meantime of them supporting me through that, they grew awesome agencies and grew as leaders. They grew muscles and were just bonded forever, because of it. So yeah, it was a crazy year. Can't believe it's been a year now since February. A lot
has changed. But it's fascinating that you make that statement because a lot's changed, but a little bit over time. As I love that you break that down as you dive into that 90-day mad woman, mad man, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. You're leaning in and actually going in reverse. And too many people, and seen it over the years that, well, hey, I've done this for 90 days. It's not working. So let's do something else, maybe not even leave the business, but I tried this recruiting thing and that doesn't work, obviously. So I'm going to go do something else. And, that's sadly the biggest piece I feel like is missing with a lot of people is just do the suck long enough, and things start to happen.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I had a sticky note that said, stick it out till you figure it out, Sara Reineke. And then the other sticky note that I have at home I've had since I started that says, help as many people get what they want today. And if I make that my job description every single day, whether it's an agent, whether it's you guys, whether it's a new hire, whether it's a client, if I help enough people get what they want every single day, it all works itself out, from there.
Yeah. If I recall correctly, I think I've heard on another interview with on another call, your team is large percentage warm market. Is that correct?
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So talk, ours has been very much a cold market recruiting culture. I know for a fact that warm market is definitely the way to go. But we kind of have our comfort zone, I suppose. So what would your advice be to a cold market culture to kind of break out of that
Oh,
mindset and tap into the warm market and get more results there?
okay. Let me ask you this, and maybe in the chat, either raise your hand or put in the chat that you're grateful that someone sent you an application to do this business. Like, are you grateful? Okay. So, I mean, do you think it's very nice of you not to offer this up to people that you know? Like, why would you keep this a secret? Like, it blows my mind. Like, you're all grateful to be here. The warm market, I mean, here's the thing. It's like, okay, if you're going to pick up a hitchhiker on the side of the road and you're like, oh, Tony from high school, I remember you. Yeah, we had chemistry together. He's going to hop in your car a whole lot faster than, total stranger. Makes sense? Like, it's just faster, it's stickier, there's a level of trust there. And if I look at when I say warm market, my best friend's not doing this with me. My sisters aren't doing this with me. I'm amazed at people that can do that. Like Marty Velour, it's like they're all like one big family over there. And Jamie Cuppernow, she saw a post that I did, and we went to the same high school, but I didn't know her. She knew my husband, didn't know me. Logan, she knew me through Facebook, but we had a mutual friend. I mean, these barely warm. So don't think this has to be your best friends. Okay. So number one, take that off cool if it is. I would definitely let them know. So your whole world needs to know these 4 things. Everybody, what you do, that you love it, what you offer, and that you're hiring. If every single person in your world, Facebook, Instagram, your contacts in your phone doesn't know those 4 things, then you are just missing out on a giant agency. Just that. So cold market's great. That's not work that I want to do for a living. I mean, it's hard work. And I have done it. I've done some LinkedIn. I've hired some people off of there. It's a lot of work to bond with them. It's just harder to connect and bond with them. It's just harder. And it's harder to gain the trust. It's easier for them to walk away when it gets hard. They're like, I don't even know that girl. Peace. Like they can walk away from me and not feel a bit guilty about it. So one is you've got to realize that it's a blessing. And I love how Mel Robbins, she talks about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys read that, like the 5-second rule, and how your brain is chemically wired to keep you from being uncomfortable. So before you send that message out to that girl you went to high school with, your brain is like, do not do it, Stella. She's going to never talk to you again. You're going to see her at Target. She's going to ignore you because you sent this message. Don't do it. That's what your brain is going to tell you to do because it's chemically wired to keep you from being uncomfortable. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it anyway, right? You have to learn to press go at the red light, uncomfortably so. But here's what she also says to do before you send that message. So Stella, you're sending it to a girl from high school that that you're like, man, I see her killing it in everything she does. She'd be so great here. Before you send that message, you close your eyes and you envision her being on a Zoom, and she just hit agency owner. She's thrilled. She's so grateful that her friend Stella thought enough of her to reach out to her. You picture that scene in your mind and then press go. So that's what you do over and over again. What if she says no? I don't care. Doesn't matter. Doesn't hurt you. You weren't bit by a snake. You're fine. You're fine. Right? You survived. So I will also say this, Jamie Susie, she has built her entire business off of Instagram stories. It's fascinating. I'll be the first to say I can't keep up with it. I can't do what she does. She is a masterful storyteller. It is a brilliant artwork that she does through her Instagram stories. It's intoxicating, it's attractive, and it has drawn hundreds of people to join her in business. I'm like C+ level on Instagram stories. I do enough. I'm like the old lady. I'm like, gotta post on Instagram. Like it's harder for me. I do enough. I do post on Facebook because I want people to know those 4 things. So if this sounds terrible. You can't be my friend on Facebook because I'm maxed out on friends. I did that a long time ago. There's a max. But you can follow over there and you can see my stories or my posts on Facebook. So you can see it might be about being a cheer mom. It might be about a workout post. It might be about symmetry. It's not just symmetry. But I want everyone in my Facebook world to know what I do, what I offer, that I love it, and that I'm hiring. That's one way to tell people besides just sending them a message. I would do both. So saying all that, Jamie Susie, all through Instagram stories. Logan Moore, the one who's going to have 15 riders and got 25 in the hopper, she's private. She's not on social media. She hates it. She doesn't even have an Instagram account. Okay. So what she is doing instead is she actually had her admin make a list of her Facebook contacts, and Logan wrote out a message, and she's having her admin send those messages. Hey, this is what I'm doing. If you know anybody looking for a change, part-time, full-time, I write life insurance and cancer policies in all 50 states. Let me know if you need any of that with business card. She's having her admin send it, like 50 a day. It's taking away the emotion. Sometimes her husband does it for her because it takes away that click. I'm like, brilliant. You don't have to be an influencer. Logan is never on social media, hates it, but she's utilizing it because it's free. That's the other thing about Warm Network. Free. So that's just a couple of things. I mean, a lot of people have come to me because of my Facebook post. But Logan watched me for a year. Jamie Kuppernow watched me for a year before she reached out to me. So I can make a post about meatloaf and be like, what's the best additive? Should I use Ritz crackers or breadcrumbs? I'll have 87 comments about Ritz crackers or breadcrumbs about meatloaf. And then I'll post something about symmetry, and it'll just be my mom and maybe my husband be like, sounds fun. Great work. Looks like a great opportunity. You're like, okay. Well, the same 87 people that commented on my meatloaf post saw that symmetry post. So it's okay. Stay consistent with it, but then try to just balance it out with other things going on in your life. And don't shortchange yourself. You're all interesting. One of you probably crochets. One of you probably collects, arrowheads. Somebody probably, you all have something. You golf. You are great at finding deals on Amazon. You collect shoes. I don't know. You all have something interesting. So I don't have anything to post about. Yes, you do. You're interesting. You're passionate about something. Shopping local, maybe cooking from home, wine. I don't care. Books that you're reading. So, I mean, I think it's free and it works and they stick. And it's the moral of the story, if nothing else, is it's the kind thing to do. You don't want anyone in your warm network to say, why didn't you ask me about this? Why didn't you tell me? You should have that mentality of like, it wasn't on me. I did send you that message. Remember, look back at your Facebook. They'd be like, son of a biscuit. No one in your warm network should ever think that. Not on you. There you go. There's my warm network lesson of the day.
Well, what I love about that series of stories, though, is, you listed yourself and two other people that all did it a little bit different. But the important part is you just did it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's missed. I know that's what's missed a lot of times in this business, whether we're talking about just the activity, the day-to-day activity, picking up the phone, making the dials, or, working the switchboard, sending the text, or reaching out and doing the recruiting. A lot of times it's just taking the steps, even if it's not the right steps, at least it's movement so you can make course correction as you move forward.
Yep. And I think if you're not building this way, I really think there's some kind of a belief blocker. Either you're like, do you really believe in the system? Do you really believe in where the founders are going? Do you really believe in the leads? Or probably more common, do you believe that you are a leader worth following? Do you believe that you know enough to be able to lead them in the right direction? That's what holds people back, I think, from Warm Network, is like, who am I? So I would highly, highly recommend studying leadership. Study John Maxwell. Write your leadership affirmations. I'm a leader worth following. I can lead professional men. That was something hard for me. Like, would professional men like listen to me? Like, I don't know, like I'm just a mom, like that kind of bothered me because there's a lot of men in this industry, and I'm like, okay, that was something new for me. So writing those affirmations, but I will be honest, like if people reach out to me and say, hey, can I work with you on building? The first question I always ask is, what are you reading? And sometimes I don't hear back from them for 3 weeks, which is fine. I'm a 4 and 2. Remember the State Farm, but I'm a 5 when it comes to, I will not work with anyone regarding leadership or building unless they are actively, relentlessly pursuing personal growth, because it's a moot point. I will not do it. Cut off, because that I don't waste time. I'm Pioneer, high D, high I, Enneagram 3. Like I am willing, and I'm heart all the way, but it is a waste of time. It will not work. So that's a real hard rule I have. So if you have interest in leading and building and you're not having success, it's probably because you don't see yourself big enough to do it. And the only way to make yourself big enough to do it is to work on yourself and to grow. And you can do that at home daily.
So I think that probably, I'm going to assume, but you can correct me here, but this ties into my next question, which is recruits to writers, because we always see the leaderboards. Sara is always up there, ton of recruits, and I've seen this over the years. There are people that can just flat out recruit like mad, but then when you look at the conversion rate to writers, it falls off a cliff, and that's not the case with your agency. You recruit, but you write. So that bridge, and that's a tough one again, and life, I'm sure it's, trust factors, processes. I mean, there's any number of things involved there, but what's the secret sauce for the Reineke agency?
I have zero interest in that recruiting board. None. I don't even look at it. In fact, I mean, when I was like, why do I want to be number 1 in that category? That makes no sense to me at all. Like I didn't get it. People getting trophies over the most contracts back. I was like, you make no money from a contract back. You make no impact from contracts back. It's not even fun. Like that's like the worst category to win, like in my mind. So I'm like, I don't really want to win at that, but I'd like to win in new writers and unique writers. Like, okay, so I don't focus at all on, we don't track it. I don't know. Maybe this is terrible advice. I don't know. This is just what we just track writers and we track builders. So like in our leaderboards, we have future leaders, builders right now. And so people that have more than at least 2 writers, we have their own leaderboards for our builders. So we really highlight new writers and we highlight new builders more than we do just contracts back. And I think more than anything, the reason for it is an expectation, because you guys are producers. I mean, I know what you guys do over here. I see your numbers, like killers. So if I were to say to you as a great producer, if you're hearing a lot of think about it, then you don't say these leads are bad. You say, I need to go tweak something in my process to make sure I don't hear that anymore. Would you guys all agree with me? Okay. So it's the same in the recruiting process. So if you are seeing people fall off after you hire and not write, then you go, it's not that I am so talented, I only hire failures. Congratulations. You're the one person that only hires failures. That's so talented of you. No, it's that you need to get better in your recruiting process. You need to go back to something that you're saying or not saying in your interview process or your onboarding process to circumvent that on the front end. You guys with me? So, I say in my interview, I'm a big formula for change proponent when it comes to interviewing. I don't know if you guys heard of that. They kind of talked about it a little bit on the builder's call. He had a different spin on it. I was like, that's my formula. Brian Williamson, Brad Smith, who they think they are. But in the interview, it's D times V. This is what I always learned. D is in dissatisfaction times V as in Victor, plus F as in Fred, plus I is greater than R equals C. So D times V plus F plus I greater than R equals C. R is their resistance, which is typically comfortable misery, and C is change. and connection, I think, could really go in there together. So when I am interviewing, so first things first, in the interview, I do not go into the first steps of symmetry or what we do here until I know their dissatisfaction. Hey, what do you love about what you're doing? You know, what has you looking for a change? You know, well, they'll tell you. You ask 3 good questions, they will spill it because it's top of mind. Again, they did not get on LinkedIn that day having a great day at work. Something is going on that made them look for a change. It is your job, first and foremost, to find out what that thing is. Man, you know, I'm working all the time and never making enough money, or I work all the time, never see my family. I'll never make a raise, or I got divorced and my wife moved to a different state and I miss my daughter. Like, there's something. Once you get that, then you're like, man, so your daughter now lives in Virginia. Yeah, she's 2 and I miss her. And I own this company here and I can't get out to go near. Okay, so if you were able to build an agency that you could take anywhere with you, would that make sense to you? Oh my God, it'd be amazing. What do you need to make a month to cover that? Okay, 10 grand a month. That was my goal too. Totally get that. I know what to do to help you do that. So their dissatisfaction in life times their vision. I stay there for a bit before I ever say, okay, well, I got to tell you, here's what we do here. I'm going to send you an application. I think you make a great fit and I'd love to help you get to Virginia with your 2-year-old. But you're going to have to start being coachable today. I know you don't know me that well. This is cold market, right? Like, I know you don't know me that well, but I have done this. I'm doing this. We have a lot of people doing this. So it's going to be a matter of if you can listen to me and be coachable. Are you coachable? Okay. All right, Jim, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to send you an application and it's going to come in your email and I'm going to send you a discount code for your pre-licensing and I'm going to send you the link to book your test in your state. That's 3 things that I want you to get done today. Okay. Can you get that done today for me? Okay, awesome. You're going to want to take this test in the next 7 to 10 days because you're 85% more likely to pass if you do so. I'm assuming if we're going to do this, you want to also win here, correct? Yes. Okay. Again, I'm going to ask you to be coachable and trust me, it probably seems fast, 7 to 10 days, but we have people do it all the time and the people who win here do it. Okay, so today is Friday, so by the next Monday at the latest. Okay. All right, sounds good. Once you get that passed, your main goal right now is to pass. And once you get passed, then you're going to get contracted and I'm going to help you do, then you're going to write an application on yourself because first and foremost is you want to make sure that you've got a policy in place on yourself because there's no way that you're going to be able to sell this to anyone unless you're properly covered. And then be thinking about any friends and family that you could be writing policies on or at least do some quotes on. You can't write on them yet, but you can have conversations about the importance of life insurance. Ask around, do you have a policy? Do you have a cancer policy? So I plant those seeds of writing in the expectations when I'm hiring them. I plant the seed of 6, make a list of 6 people that you can write, that you can have a conversation with, that you can run some quotes on, that you can connect with. I plant those seeds right there. And then the last thing I say to them is, okay, so you're going to fill out your application, you're going to enroll in pre-licensing, and you're going to book your test. Hopefully there's a state that will let you do that. I know. There's a few that make it hard, but assuming that they're in all the normal states. Okay, and then you're going to write down 6 to 10 people that you're going to have conversations with just to get some good practice. And then last but not least, you remember that corporate overview that I sent you? Yeah, 40 minutes long. Do you know anybody else who would be looking to do something like this, part-time, full-time, that's kind of like you? I mean, send that corporate overview. I know it sounds crazy to hire right now, but that's exactly what I did. You met Jamie and I in that corporate overview. I hired her exactly where you are before I'd even filled out an application. And so I don't regret that because we learned together, we studied together, we passed together, we built this thing together. So be thinking about that. And you can't write business right now, but you can sure send that corporate overview out to a few people and I'll help you start building your agency right now. And if they're interested, connect them to me. So that's what that call sounds like. And we use the phrase, that's just what we do, right? So this is what we do. We get everybody passed in 7 to 10 days. We write an application immediately. The day Opt goes live, we're putting in an application. Period. We're going to celebrate them. They're going to be a new rider on the board. And then next from there is SNA. Next from there is their first promotion. That's just what we do here. That's just what we do here. If you think about when you go to the dentist, the dental hygienist, right, is like, I'm going to spray you and it's going to be annoying, and I'm going to scrape your teeth and the sound is excruciating. Okay. And then we're going to scrape this off, and you let her do it because she's telling you what's next, right? This is just what we do here. It's like, this is going to be aggravating, but we're doing it anyway. And you're like, okay, you just let her do it, right? You're guiding the ship. So just like you guys are good producers and you guide the ship in production, guide the ship in recruiting to, this is just what we do. They want to be led by someone who is confident and has a posture. I know what you want. I know how to help you get there, but you're going to have to be coachable. Are you willing to do that? Okay. Right. So expectations, I think, more than anything else. And then celebration for every little thing. Killed it. Way to go. Nice work. Humans are very simple. They want to be noticed and they want to be recognized for their work. It's not hard. That's free. Send them a message. Post something on social media. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest indicator. But I would just say wherever you're losing them, everybody has patterns. So I can't get them to SNA, or where I was losing them in cold market, because we do have some. If I hire them on Thursday, then by Tuesday they were ghosting me. I'm like, where'd that dude go? I thought we were best friends, you know? So then I started adding into my process, hey, Jim, today is Friday and we are best friends. We've been on the phone for like 10, 15 minutes, right? So we've totally kicked it off. And I think you're going to be great. But I'm going to be honest with you. I know what's going to happen. By Tuesday, you're going to be like, I don't even know that girl. What am I doing studying to be an engineer? This is hard. Is this a real company? Was she even real? Is that even a real business? Like, you're going to question everything by Tuesday, because it's going to get hard and you're going to have a lot of studying to do and your brain's going to want to think of an excuse. So since I know that's going to happen, I'm going to ask you to be coachable today and stay in my feed. Shoot me a message each day. Be like, hey, study in chapter 1. I don't care what the message says. Make a decision now to stay close to me, because I'm going to be your mentor in this, and it will be make or break important in your success here. So do you think that's something you can do? Just shoot me a text each day while you're studying. Right. So I circumvented it with that. So wherever you have a glitch in your process, it's on you. So go fix it. Mm-hmm.
Love it. Absolutely love it. That is fantastic. Well, guys, we kind of a special treat. I sent a text to Sara, asked her if she would be open enough and brave enough to take just random questions from this motley crew. And so we are going to throw open the floor and let anybody and everybody throw out a question, something you've been dying to ask Sara, that you've seen her on the calls and leaderboard. Stella, I'm shocked. Stella, how did you get? All right, Stella, go ahead. You unmuted
I
first.
should have just start talking. I knew it.
Stacey, you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn. You just gotta start talking.
I'll be quick. I just love you so much, Sara. I'm so happy you're here. So happy to talk with you again. So, what's the, I have a million questions in my head. I'll stick with one. What is the number one lesson that you learned that you were able to bring here that you got through your coaching lessons? You said that you went through this.
Oh, easy answer. Easy answer. That was a lob softball. Stay curious. This is something that we learned that in coaching, and I had a little Post-it note on my computer that said, stay curious. Stay curious, because if you do that, and that is a mindset, right? You can go to church or you can go to church, right? You can come to a huddle, you can come to a huddle, right? There's different levels of engagement. And if you are in a curious mindset, which is what you have to do in coaching. So Stella, you were my client and we were on a Zoom or on the phone. I can't do anything else. I'm not texting anybody else. I'm not multitasking. I am staying curious to what's going on in Stella's world for that 30 minutes straight, which takes endurance. It's not easy as it sounds. But in your interview, stay curious. Like, wonder why they did this, right? Like, wonder what's going on with them. Wonder what, stay curious. With your agents, if they're having a down month, be like, no, what is going on? I only did 1,300. Be like, you okay? Just checking on you, man. Like, usually you're, highly engaged. Like, is everything okay at home? Anything I can help you with? Like, be the leader that can show up for them whenever they're having the hard week, not just the great week. Staying curious to your mentor or to whoever inspires you. I I did that whole call for Jacob on his Thursday call, that one, gosh, it was a couple of months ago, because I called him after conference and I'm like, okay, I saw you stand there for 2 hours talking to people. Interesting. Have you always done that? Have you always been that guy? Right. And I am so curious about his journey, Marshall's journey. I stay in that mindset all the time. And so when I have my call with Jacob, it's always me like, okay, so when you were where I'm at, what did you do? You know, how do you feel about this? What would make you do this? I'm so curious about, and I got to have 2 hours with Ashley Tarr yesterday because we're going to get to work together on a project. And like, man, anytime I get with her, I'm just like picking her brain clean because her integrity and her consistency, and there's no gap in character with that woman, right? Like, so staying curious will help you a lot because then it takes it off you as well. If you stay in a curious mindset, you're not thinking about your own stuff, you know, and then people connect better when you're present with them. So there you go. Easy one.
Thank you. That's awesome. I have like 4 pages of notes, by the way.
Great.
I love that you kept referencing Danny Young's Where Else Can You Go? Because I love that video. I posted it everywhere. Like, where else can you go? Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, let me jump in. First of all, hey.
Hi.
And thank you for bringing Jamie in. I have to tell you, when I met her at the Wayland conference, I mean, you're awesome too. You know that. So
I get it. Yeah,
she gave me a little nugget because I just had a son. And so we were talking about like our little ones in this business. And so that really helped me like push through some tough parts of raising my little one. So thank you for bringing her in. But my question is, I know you guys are warm market recruiters, like that's your thing, and you do some cold market recruiting. My question is, a lot of times I hear some leaders talking about hiring recruiters to help them with that process, but the way you talk to people and engage people that you're recruiting seems very personal, unlike something a recruiter can do. So is your recommendation that we do most of the cold market recruiting ourselves, right? Kind of digging in, doing the formula, or should we entrust that to someone else?
Man, that's a good question. I think you have to know your skill set and your gifting, right? So when I look at things that I'm good at and what I'm not good at, and there's way more than I'm not good at, you know, data, spreadsheets, you know, that kind of stuff I don't want to do, and it drains me. So that's the stuff that I'm hiring out. I have a full-time admin and she does all the agent sync stuff, all that kind of thing. And I have a new agent mentor that I hired that helps with underwriting with my agents. So those are the 2 hires that I made. For me personally, I know my gifting is connection. So it's hard for me to give up the recruiting part because of exactly what you said. Now, cold market's different. I would say it's very doable to hire someone to funnel people through, do your first interview, send that. And that's what Logan does. She has her admin send that first message, and then she does a first interview, and then sends our corporate overview. That's what we do. We don't talk to anyone that hasn't watched a 40-minute corporate overview. I don't want to have an hour conversation with someone who doesn't know that we buy leads, doesn't know. I mean, that's just my philosophy about it. And if they don't have time, then I don't have time. I'm not doing that. Like, this is a big decision. Like, research it a minute. You know what I mean? So that's what Logan does. Her admin does the first interview, just a quick check. Hey, watch this corporate overview, then I'll line you up a call with Logan. Then Logan does second interview. So even with warm, she does that. So I think you just have to know your gifting, like what you're best at. And then the thing that drains you to the core is what you need to hire out, right? And the things that give you life are what you keep. And I think that's just different for different people.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I have a question. Hey, Sarah, fellow educator you.
Oh, I knew it.
So I am kind of just what you were, you've said so many wonderful things. So just so great to have you here. And thank you so much for all you do and how you help people. So kind of circling back to your beginning, time, when you're trying to, you have to produce, you got to get, you got to get that ball rolling, but you're also trying to recruit. How did you do that balance?
Oh, terribly. Um, you know, another thing, going back to Stella, that I learned in coaching school, everything I learned was based on the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. And I learned to time block. And I prefer, I don't know, maybe unpopular, I prefer people to get either Art Fan or Blue Sky appointment book versus a calendar. So like what hairdressers or massage therapists use, right? That's like 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and you can open it up and see your whole Monday through Friday. Did I bring mine? Yeah. And then I block off using highlighters to block off my time. So like as colors. So then you can choose different colors based on your priorities.
Love it. I color code all the time too. I love that.
And I just think there's something about each week having to do it versus just a Google sheet that you just like automatic over. Whenever you're like, this is when I'm doing this is when I have a hair appointment. So I'm going to bump this down, right? And so you have dialing, appointments, recruiting, huddles, personal, workout. And I have a connection time too, where I connect with agents. And I do that in the mornings, typically on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I literally name it connection. And then I try to touch all of my direct agents and anybody in recruiting or leaders. And just, it might be sending a podcast. It might be sending a song I love. It might be, have a great day, might be, but connection's important. This is a lonely job. So yeah, time blocking helps.
Thank you.
And then you just got to stick with it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Maybe one more.
Donna's scrambling.
I'm like, wait, I can't find my button. Thank you. You're awesome. I'm like, I want her picture. I'm going to stick it up on my wall so I can get her and have my inspiration.
Let me send a better one. So not in my dad's office.
The personal growth, I have struggled with this, so I'm really working on it. Do you read more than one book at one time, or how do you try and navigate? Like, we're doing John Maxwell's book now, but I'm also doing the powerful engagement, and I'm like, keep them separate. You need to grow. So what's your recommendation on self-development?
I have thoughts about this. I have some thoughts. I don't know. One, I think different people need different things at different times. So I'm not a huge fan of like, the powerful engagement. I know it's the company's book they put out, but I started reading that and I'm like, man, this is a hard book. It was like a textbook. I found myself like having a hard time. I'm just going to be honest with you. I had a hard time staying focused on that. And I love engagement and I love the word engage. And I love that's the word of the year. Like I'm obsessed with it. But it was one I had to really like concentrate on, which therefore it kind of got pushed over to the side. And so I want to give you permission. If you're not totally loving a book, you don't have to finish it. So if you get enough out of it in the first 4 chapters, cool, put it on your shelf. You still read it. So giving yourself permission to let go of a book that's not feeding your soul. Okay. 2, I'm a big fan of, this is why you have to read a lot as a leader or a potential leader, because that way when I'm talking to someone and they're struggling with worth, I can say, man, High Five Habit. Have you read that? Would you go read that book for me? Or if they're struggling with being a leader, I'm like, okay, let's start with 21 Irrefutable Laws. Right. I have read enough and I'm continually adding to that in my brain to where I have the Rolodex of like, this is what this person needs today versus assuming everybody needs the same thing. Right. So I just think it's more of a mindset of like, I had a lady tell me once, Sara, I'm very careful about what I receive. And I think I can receive from you. It was just cryptic, just like that. I was like, that's weird. But it's true. When I was like, man, the word receive, of like what you allow in, what you let seep in, whether that's people in your life or books or audiobooks or whatever it might be. I think if you're conscientious about what you are receiving, don't put too much pressure on it. Like add some habits, like atomic habits, right? Like I added in my Christian music while I'm in the shower. I was like, okay, I already take a shower every day. So I want to make sure that I hear a little Casting Crowns or something while I'm taking my shower. Okay. While I'm working out my CrossFit people, I put in my Ed Milet, some kind of a podcast, which is super nerdy. I should be jamming out to like Metallica and I'm like Ed Milet or Danny Young in my ear at CrossFit, right? But I can get two things done, while I'm doing that. And so I just try to think about, what did I receive today? Was it helpful? Did it add something to my life? Did it make me a little bit better? Did it give me more tools to help myself and help other people? But I think take the pressure off of yourself. And as long as you're just growing, and I would rather you read for 10 minutes intentionally engaged than 30 minutes just to say you did. Read with intentionality, read and journal. Miracle Morning Group changed my life. Got up and did that at 5 a.m., 7 days a week for 7 months straight. Changed everything for me. Like if you can find a Miracle Morning Group to do your affirmations, a visualization, read for 10 minutes, journal for 10 minutes, it'll change your life. But if you don't love the book, put it down. Put down the book you don't love.
I heard it from Sara.
You received it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, gang, we are at the top of the hour, 5 minutes over, and I know Sarah's got a busy itinerary, but we really appreciate, Sara, you taking an hour with this group and really pouring in. And man, like Stella said, I can never take as many notes as Stella does, but I took a lot from me, so I would just say that's saying something. But really appreciate you jumping on, sharing with this team, and really pouring into us. Can't thank you enough, and we really appreciate you taking the time today. So.
Of course.
We are going to move to our leaderboards. Sara, thank you for hopping on, and we'll move on here. Finish up the call, gang. We gave everybody a heads up. We'll probably be a little bit over, but we're still going to kind of plow through here and get us done as quickly as we can here. So hang on just a second. We're going to hit some leaderboards, get some announcements out of the way. The wonderful and amazing Sara Reineke. I hope you all took something big from that. All right, let's hit leaderboards for, and let me move some things here so I can see what's going on. Month to date, this is actually January. Let's give a shout out. I'm going to kind of consolidate. You can see all the names here. Let's do top three. Spencer Cushion, 10,452. Stella Dinwiddie, 25,471, leading from the front. Also, leading from the front, Stacy Love, 34,591. Also, shout out to Stacy because the Love team hit their first month of key leader official numbers. We have already confirmed the issue paid is there, had the riders. So month one in the bag. Now it's down to month two. Keep it up, Stacy. Great job. Top producers in apps, again, top three. Donna Bates, great job, 14 applications. Stella Dinwiddie, 24 applications. And this is mind-boggling, but Stacy Love cranked out 59 applications. That is phenomenal. Great job. Base shops, the Dinwiddie agency, $37,000 in January. Menefee base shop, $65,000. App count, Stella Dinwiddie agency, 36 apps, and Menefee base shop, 94. Great job protecting families. New writers, we had Mark and Christina Feldstein, welcome, part of the Love agency. Also Safan, also part of the Love agency. So that team is off and rocking and off to a great start. So for the new year, keep it up. Golden Chicken by a long shot. It wasn't even close. Stacy Love, 59 applications. When you put that kind of app counts in, you're going to be hard to catch. But now you all have the targets for February. For the week, now this is last week because we have we have the main call last week, so we went ahead and did leaderboards so we can make sure we get everybody recognized. 24 applications, 32,826. And agency owners, we had Dinwiddie agency at 12,299, Menefee base shop at 20,527. Top five writers, Jim Arch, 4 applications, $1,578. Myself had 2 applications, $2,393. Stacy Love, 6 applications, $5,223. Spencer Cushion, 3 applications, $7,644. Stella Dinwiddie leading from the front as always, 4 applications, $8,359. APV, great job. We had all right, so Ashley put a note in there for us, exactly $3 difference for 3rd and 4th place. We'll get to that here in a second, but that's interesting. 21 applications, 23,703. Now this is as of last night, gang, so I know we've got a lot of business coming in on Friday, so still more to come. But we have agency owners, Menefee Base Shop, 11 applications, 11,789. Look at that. Dinwiddie Agency edging us out so far. We still have Friday to go, but 10 applications, $11,914, about $120 difference, $25 difference. Come on, Menefee Base Shop. Let's not let those Dinwiddie scoundrels. No, I'm just joking. So far for the week, we have Jim Arch, 1 application, $430. Donna Bates, 3 applications, $5,650. Greg Ace edging out Donna Bates with 2 applications, $5,653. Donna, I would not let that stand. You've got to get in there and knock Greg off that number 3 spot. Still Dinwiddie, 7 applications, $5,830. It's Stacy Love. Once again, 8 applications, $6,138. Role play training, guys. This is really getting to be a lot of fun. We're having some great calls on Monday. Come and join us. Come build your skill set. Come build your business. Join us on Mondays. Welcome to the team. Recruiters, guys, this is one of the things that we're doing, and I love that Sara touched on this, is people want to belong to a movement, and that's why we do this call. So make sure as you get people onboarded, get them in the pipeline, send them to the welcome to the team call. Join yourself. Come jump on with me, and let's make these folks feel welcome.
Hey, Chris, I'm sorry, real quick. Sydney's app that she put in last night, it doesn't look like it comes through, because I saw her app last night. She had an APV of 1,742 on a DFL that she submitted last night. So I just didn't want that to go unrecognized.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for pointing that out. Probably came in after we pulled leaderboards, because again, we do our leaderboards earlier on the evening on Thursday, so we could have the slideshow together. But
I'm sorry, no. It's going to put the Dinwiddie team even higher than the Menefee team.
You know what? I see what you're doing, Stella. I see what you're doing. Yeah, I don't appreciate it, but we still have Friday to catch up. So
game on!
It's on. It is on. Guys, standing lead orders. Talk to your upline. We're going to, not take a lot of time on that this morning. But consistency is how you win in this business. So talk to them about a standing lead order and what that looks like. More states are available. So if you feel like you're running behind on lead count, there are more leads that can be generated in these areas. Make sure you're just dispositioning your leads properly, so we can make sure we're tracking that data. Advanced market leads, guys. The certifications, IUL certification, I just got done going through the annuity certification. IUL wasn't too bad. Actually didn't take me a lot of time. DFL annuity takes a little bit more time, but man, those are huge markets. And right now, I think it would be a perfect opportunity with those leads coming on. Not a lot of other agents have taken the time to get this certification. Be an opportunity for you to really open up into some areas where some other agents aren't spending their time, maybe generate a little extra revenue for yourself. If you don't want to do that, and that's perfectly fine, because you can still make money. You can make money off those rollovers, those advanced market products. Just attend the FIF resets training on every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and learn how you can take the business that you are writing, whether it be mortgage protection or life, and then multiply that business, having somebody else do the heavy lifting for you on the special markets. Summits, guys, March, oh gosh, this is coming up fast. March 21st, 22nd. Talk to your upline on how to qualify that key leader. Just show key leader numbers just for 1 month, and you will get the invite. So take advantage of that. Switchboard, this announcement, and this is on HQ. So if you need to dig in and understand what's going on here, Owner Circle is now moving to Switchboard. They've been putting out some announcements, talked about on the national call. But if you kind of want to dig into that and understand it a little bit better, go to HQ or talk to your upline, and we can kind of walk you through what's happening there. Thursday book club, we have now moved to the new book, Powerful Engagement. Guys, this is a phenomenal book. And like Sara said, it is a deep dive, but man, it is a book that is very relevant to our business, our industry. Stella does a great job, so make sure you're if you want a dedicated time every week that you know you're gonna get some personal development. If you struggle with this, then put this on your calendar. We do a half hour every week, and if you can't carve out a half hour, you probably got some bigger problems in your scheduling. So come and join us. Scent socks, we've got more socks that are on the way. Donna Bates. Stella Dinwiddie. I'm sure there's probably some more that I'm going to get notifications on here very soon. But those are the most recent sit socks that are taking off today. Should be delivered here in the next couple of days. So come get you a pair of socks. Man, I got some really nice designs picked out, and I'm just itching to give them away. So make sure you keep earning sit socks, gang. The Fall Classic, win 100 grand. All you need to do is get into the top 200. So everybody can get into this contest. Once you're in the contest, obviously now you're gonna have to work your butt off and you got some heavy hitters, but hey, at least get there. By, I think it's October is when the main contest starts, but the top 200. So there's a lot of time, a lot of ground to cover to be in that contest to win 100 grand. We have 3 agents, at least, maybe more. But look there, we've got Sydney Lee, Spencer Cushion, Stacy Love. It's interesting. I think we would have more than that, but we'll check into that. If not, I would say we're knocking on the door. National conference, guys. We're gonna keep harping on this. This is make or break in this business. Literally, whether you make it or break it in this business happens at conference. So I'm not going to talk a lot about it this morning due to time, but just get there. This conference honestly is a springboard to something like this, being able to go on a carrier or company paid trip. And Interlaken, Switzerland next year looks amazing. So again, dive into that. Zoom room, live dialing. I love this, putting out a schedule. Guys, these are fun. Really hats off and a big thank you to Stella and Stacy for hosting these and letting folks jump on and just having, you don't have to turn your mic on. You don't have to have the sound going, but just the opportunity to basically have a virtual office, to know there are other people who are doing the exact same activity that you're doing, and kind of sharing in that workload. So come and join them. Meeting announcements. Just keep an eye out on the email that Ashley sends out on Fridays. So we're making a point of trying to keep all that consolidated into one email for you, so you can be on the lookout for that. So. All right, gang, I believe that is it for the announcements. Huge, again, thank you to all of you jumping on and, getting some great information and training from Sara Reineke. Now, the important thing about hearing a message like that and taking all those notes is not to shove those in a desk or get those lost under a stack of paper. It's now to take that information and put that into action into your business. Make it happen, gang. All right, have a great Friday. Let's wrap out the week strong and keep pushing for February. Thank you all.